Good evening and
Good
welcome
evening,
to this
race
week's
fans.
Rivalz
go
Race Chat. That is so awesome. What if we just talk over each other for 1 hour?
Often I don't even acknowledge that you're present. So Greg and I often talk right over you because it's too loud where you are. You really don't notice. But when we're face to face through the cyber webs, I don't like to do that.
No problem. So we have our big show as we get ready to go into Nationals weekend. We've got some fun topics we're going to discuss, Adam. First topic we want to talk about is Canadian Sprint Car Nationals coming up. We'll jump in with one of the top pilots coming into that, and that'd be Mac DeMann. So,
yeah, he's trying to tune in from what I gathered. Do we have him, Spencer? He's saying he's having some problems with his connection.
All right.
It looks like he's in. He just sent me an image of the page. Go ahead.
All right, well, we try and figure that out. Play the let's hear from last week's go-kart race where I beat Adam and Greg, which they challenged me because we didn't get to really talk about that on the show, but we can talk about that a little bit. We discussed it a bit Friday. But go ahead and one of my favorite parts of the video is young McLean Callan, who does our microsprint announcing with Caitlin DeBoer. He steals his dad's line, and I love it. Play it, Spencer, if you can.
You came looking for a show? Well, here you go. Let's end all the anticipation as we bring to you our feature presentation.
That is so great.
Greg Kell and Adam Ross on the pole. 10 laps the distance. And the green is out right about now.
Oh, we're gonna get to see the first.
It looks like Greg, my dad,
that's
Greg
me waving
Callan.
on the way by.
Oh, it looks like Clinton Jeffrey gives a wave to Adam Ross, and they're beating a banging down there.
You're supposed to wave after you go by because I couldn't see you from where you were at. Look at Clint jump over the berm on the inside. Take out Greg Callan. I get a piece.
I knew it was gonna happen. I'm gonna.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. That was good times.
It was a
thank
lot
you
of
guys
fun.
for lending us the go-karts.
Yeah, Chris Long, RCM Equipment, Mr. McGarry, James Woods, and I can never remember the third. I tried this last time too. So I see Mac is trying to log in. He's logged in a bunch of times. Spencer, how are we doing? No video or sound.
Well, Adam, you concentrate on us. Spencer will have to do his deal. So let's talk about Racing Rivals growth, Adam, and what's going on there. Lots of great opportunities, and if we can't get Mac, we'll just have to move on.
Yeah, I agree. Lots of growth is an understatement, Clint. We announced last week what was going to happen. Teams of 4, $1,000 a team, $250 per driver. And there's been a lot of conversation since then. What's going to happen? How does this work? Why does that work? What are we doing? But we do have teams to announce.
Yeah, first off, let's talk about the schedule and how it's going to go. The schedule of this year is going to start when and go till when?
October 22nd is scheduled to be the first night that we're going to – well, October 22nd is the first night for Rivalz Gauntlet and Rivalz Elite. So Elite is going to be the top series like it was last year. Gauntlet is going to be the series where you can race your way into the Elite show. But there's also going to be qualifiers from 2 other leagues that are joining the Rivalz family, Rivalz Rebels and Rivalz Renegades, that were formerly known, currently known, as the Ashwekan Outlaws, which is a league that Roger Craig runs.
Yes. So we're excited to bring them in under the fold. So that means you're going to have 2 nights of live iRacing going on with full announcing, full broadcasts, and their qualifiers will be able to transfer into our money league, which is the Rivalz Elite League. And our first team that we're ready to announce is Strickland's GSR. So Rick Scott has gone on board, and he's picked up a few ringers to be on the Strickland's GSR team this year. So the first team out of what we're going to be letting 10 teams buy $1,000 franchises. Of course, all the money goes right back into the race teams and the drivers who are racing. So that's awesome. But Rick Scott, what are your thoughts, Adam?
You know what? He jumped right on the opportunity and he solicited some great drivers. Now, keep in mind, the payouts and the points fund all pay out to the individual driver. So the team concept is something that's still being built. We want people to have some sort of affiliation when they come in, Clint. And it'll make more sense as we move on with what we're doing. So all of the accolades are individual, but still Rick Scott sees the value in wanting some really freaking good racers on his team.
So for the viewers who maybe aren't into iRacing but like the content and are hungry for some of the action that they don't get in the off season by going to the outdoor tracks, they can now watch Monday night. We'll have the Rivalz Renegades and the Rivalz Rebels racing with broadcasting. Depending on their full package, we'll get that sorted out. And then Tuesday, of course, we're going to continue. We'll move this show to Tuesday starting October. And from there, we will be kind of co-hosting this with the Rivalz Racing League. So it's going to be an exciting couple of hours.
What we're going to do is continue our Tuesday night broadcast. Maybe we'll expand it and start an hour earlier, Clint. And we'll pop in on the race broadcast that's going to be going at the same time. So we may have an insert in the window where right now you see me, you see Clint, you see a menu. We'll have some of the racing in the corner. So when things get exciting, we can pop that up and see what's going on. And it's exciting stuff. And it's moving so fast that it's hard to put into simple terms. But we know it's going to be a 20 race schedule. It's going to start the week of October 21st. And you're not going to want to miss it.
All right, super exciting. Adam, you were at St. Eustache on the weekend, and they're closing it down. What's the story there? What's going on with that? And I hear great things about it. Why are they taking it out?
Urban sprawl. The town of St. Eustache has really grown to the point where it's most of the way out to the speedway. For those who don't know, St. Eustache has a drag strip, a road course, and an oval. The oval is pancake flat, third of a mile, but it produces exciting racing and draws huge crowds. The LaBrosse family that's promoted the track for a long time, they're one of the great promoting families in all of Canada and all of motorsports, really. When they put on events, they put on huge events and draw big crowds. So it was bittersweet to leave the Speedway Sunday afternoon knowing that we were never going to be back. You know, it was the end of something. You know how some racetracks you just drive into and, man, I'm glad I'm here. This is the place to be tonight. That was definitely one of them. But the good news is for race fans. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I get that feeling when I get to some of these places. You know, the mile was one of them for me before we lost it too. It was just one of those places when you get there, you just felt it.
I'll tell you what was cool about St. Eustache is when you turn off the road and up the driveway, all of the camping is on both sides of the road. So there's probably 60, 80 feet on either side of the road back to lines of trees. So you have to drive all the way through the center of the campground, basically. You see everyone that's there, who's got their allegiances and what, and then you get towards the parking area, and then you drive past the back of the speedway into the pits. So you sort of, the whole atmosphere of it. The good news is they're going to try to replicate something like that, not 30 minutes down the road in Mirabel, Quebec, at Circuit Icar. So they're going to try to reproduce the oval there. I'm not sure how many members of the LaBrosse family are going to go down and help promote it. I know at least one is, and hopefully they can capture that lightning in a bottle because the family's done great things, good car counts. They've always been innovators. I mean, who would have imagined Jacques Villeneuve racing on a third mile flat oval? But they made it happen. He raced with us at the Pinty Series, and he was a little bit out of place, but they got him to do it. He had a good time, and it was a huge deal for the Quebec fans to be able to watch a legend. Miguel Duhamel raced at St. Eustache years ago, the motorcycle racer. So they were always getting different names to come in.
Right on. That's cool.
So good.
Let's just talk about a couple of things. I read some of the messages. Paul Klager asked for any fixed setups in the series or a family of racing series. And Adam, the answer is, well, what is that answer?
Okay, the short answer for Paul, to give him the short answer, is find some teammates that are real good with setups. And I'm not even being sarcastic. Like, that's kind of the idea of having.
Well, wait a minute now. So the short answer is no. The long answer is find some teammates with good setups who can help you out.
We're going to do fixed setup races in rookie classes. So it's just kind of a beginner's
type.
To
talk about is Rogers going to be running some schools and camps to get guys up to speed too, right, Adam? So the long answer is there will be a lot of programs coming out. The short answer is not at this moment.
But the encouragement I would give Paul is, Paul, make some calls, send me a note online of who we can connect with, who's good at doing setups that might want Paul Klager to race for them. Because we've had people come along, Clinton, and I believe this is why I encouraged people on the Rivalz Racing Facebook page to post if they're interested in racing, because we know that there's people coming on board that want to sponsor teams that don't really have teams of 4 just yet. So people are kind of aligning themselves with other people, making some making plans, making strategies. It's like watching Big Brother of racing, because they want to see what alliance is going to suit them the best. And really, Rick Scott has already created the mega team. So I mean, that's where we start. Have we had Dillon Westbrook, Spencer? Do we have Dillon on? Huh.
Still working on trying to get those guys.
We had 2 dynamite guests lined up, Mac DeMann and Dillon Westbrook, and we're struggling to get either of them connected. So it was going to be great, because what we wanted to talk about, Clint, was is this the year? Has there ever been a year where the locals have a better chance at winning the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals? In the 15th year, this race has never been won by a local.
No, I agree. I think it might be the best chance, yes, because our guys have constantly upped their game. The more they travel around, the more they race against the outside guys, the more the nucleus grows around here. They have to race against more and more people. That's when things get to the level where they should be, where these guys can really compete. And I think there is a shot that local guy could get it done. And Dillon and Mac are probably 2 of the best chances. Corey Turner possibly as well. But it all depends on track conditions too. But Westbrook's shown he can race with these guys.
And Scott Kruder has been hot. And I credit Corey Turner, Scott Kruder, Mac DeMann for even pushing Dillon Westbrook farther, right? Like Dillon Westbrook's been pulling people up. People are starting to push back. So the quality of competition, and given the right racetrack, the Brown brothers can get it done as well.
100%. Spencer, do you have that intro that we could play? And this is let me tee it up. So this is our show intro for Saturdays. We've been in production meetings all week. As you know, the Canadian Sprint Car National is going to air coast to coast here in Canada on MAV TV starting at 7 p.m. Eastern for the full duration of the program on Saturday. So we've been working on intros and all kinds of, programming, pre-production meetings and stuff. And this came out today. This is going to be a sample of our show intro, and kind of gave me chills, got me excited for the event. So go ahead and run it, Spencer. This is the show intro for Saturday's event. So if you're in the stands, you won't see it. When you watch it at home, you will.
The stars travel from far and wide to see their name engraved on the trophy next to Dirt Sprint Car Racing's best. Names like Jacobs, Stewart, Poirier and Johnson, Zemkin, Howland, Haferteeth, Price, Miller, and Macedo. Will this year see a new name etched in Ohsweken Speedway history? Or will one of our former champions visit victory lane again? One thing we know for certain, our Ohsweken Speedway regulars have never been more prepared to take on the best the sport has to offer. Dillon Westbrook joined track owner Glenn Stiers as the winningest sprint car racer in track history this season with 28 career victories. The difference? Westbrook achieved that feat in less than 4 seasons. Mac DeMann, Corey Turner, Scott Kruder, and Jim Hoopinen also joined the impressive roster of Ohsweken regulars looking to do something no one has done before. In the 14-year history of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, an Ohsweken Speedway regular season competitor has never won in the track's most prestigious event. Is this the year the locals keep the trophy nearby, or will an outsider leave town with the hardware once again? We're about to find out as All North Racing, powered by Pinty's, presents the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals from Ohsweken Speedway.
Super excited about that, Adam, and got me excited about the weekend as I watched it this morning. And what a wake-up call, Spencer. So thank you very much. Maybe some small tweaks to that, but that's tells the story pretty good to lead into our live coast-to-coast broadcast on MAV TV this weekend.
And we do have a guest with us. It was tough to get them. A little bit of connection issue, but Dillon Westbrook is joining us. I understand he's been spending some time in the shop here this evening. We're glad he could take some time out to chat with us. Dillon, how's it going?
Good, you?
Not bad at all, man. I mentioned this to you, I think, unless I might not even have told you. I know I told Clinton and Greg, but your interviews are getting much better. Are you starting to get comfortable with the attention?
A little bit. Doing a lot better than my first one, that's for sure. So hopefully keep on getting better. That used to be the worst part, having to go out there and get a good run, then be awesome winning, but then have to go give an interview, and I hated doing that. So
I'm glad they enjoy hanging around us, Adam.
You know what? And our guys are awesome. We might have technical problems from time to time, but very rarely do our guys say, "No, I'm too busy for you." So, Dillon, I don't know if you watched that intro that we just showed, but in my opinion, our local drivers have never had such a great opportunity to win the Sprint Car Nationals. Is this the year that a hometown driver, or I shouldn't even say hometown because I consider Scott Kruder one of ours, anyone who's raced with us each and every Friday night this season, is this the year one of our drivers keeps the trophy?
I hope so. I really hope I win it, but even if it's just anyone that races our track weekly, that'd be just awesome. Just finally get a win, and for someone to actually just win it that races with us weekly, that'd just be really good. And I think we have the best shot ever. I think the competition out of Ohsweken is the best that's been so far. So I can't wait to see what happens. Yeah, really hope I win it. But if anyone else could have racing from Ohsweken weekly, that'd be great also.
Dillon, let's talk about track conditions. It's been the big story for the last 2 years at Ohsweken Speedway. Your dad played a big role in the maintenance and stuff at the track for the last year and a half. So you're intimately associated with the track. You spend a lot of time around the place. What do you think is going to happen this weekend? There's moisture in the air right now, but it looks good for Saturday. What kind of setup are you guys looking for, and what's your game plan for Saturday afternoon?
I don't know. I think it's hard to say with the rain, and now I'm not too sure what it's going to be like. They could, with all the rain, it could be heavy, or they could just pack the track in, and it could be real slick. So they kind of got to pack it in so the track doesn't get swamped over there. But there's still going to be some moisture going in it, so I don't know if it's going to be rough and tacky or smooth. But it's just kind of whatever happens. Kind of can't do all that much. Got to see what the weather does. But either way, it's always a great racetrack and always racy there. So either way, no matter what happens, how the track is, I think it'll still be a great nationals.
Is there a type of track, Dillon, that favors you? Like, do you secretly hope that the track slicks off, or do you secretly hope there's a cushion that you can just dance on all night long?
I don't know. I kind of like both. Like I like slick track. Like we've had some pretty good runs on slick and on a tacky track also. So we got a good setup for both of them, and I kind of wouldn't mind a tacky track almost. Haven't really ran on too many of those this year, so it's always fun to have a good tacky track with a cushion. But if it slicks off too, we've been good there in the past years in the slick. So kind of whatever it is, and we'll just kind of adjust the car and go for it.
Let's talk about the drivers that are in your stable that you compete with and alongside and also prepare your stuff with, Dillon. You know, you've got the hometown guys, Mac, yourself, Sean Evans. Then you've got, Sam Haferteep and Alex come back home. How's the team dynamic work? Are you guys kind of all on your own? Is Sam jumping in there to pick up your game? Are you guys all working on his stuff? How does it work over there?
It's a big team, really. Like, if someone needs help, everyone will kind of help out with whoever's like, and like how Sean wrecked a couple weeks ago, or when was that? A week or two ago. So everyone was kind of off. We all helped him out to get his car back going. It's just a big team. So whoever needs help, we all help each other out. We all want to get each other on the track. And big thing is, with all the cars there, if we could sweep the podium or something, that'd be even better.
Sweeping the podium would be something else. Okay, I want to change directions altogether, Dillon. You came and raced with us a little bit last year on iRacing. Are you aware of what we just announced with our new Rivalz Elite program, where it's going to be points fund, purse money each and every Tuesday night?
Yep, I seen that.
Do you think is it something you can commit to and come and race? Because I know you always treated it, hey, this is fun, this is where I come to relax. But if there's money on the line, I don't know if you could still take it as such a relaxing endeavor, or you'd have to really get serious about it.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to do that again. It's always fun to do that in the off season, kind of just like racing again. But yeah, it's a lot of fun still. But now there's money on the line too. It's going to make it a bit more exciting. Probably get a bunch more people out to it too. So yeah, probably going to have to definitely do that. Got to keep on racing during the winter too.
So the word goes out right now. Dillon Westbrook, has anyone solicited yet, Dillon, or are you still a free agent?
I'm still.
Well, we'll have that conversation on the weekend then. So Dillon Westbrook is going to do some iRacing with us, Clinton, and I think that's a huge announcement. I'm pumped about that.
Now, Dillon, are you as good in iRacing as you are in the 360?
Oh, not even close.
He does. Right. He does all right. He raced with us a couple of times last year, but Dillon's one of those that rises to the occasion. You put accolades on the line and a little bit of money on the line, and I think Dillon Westbrook's all of a sudden going to be a pretty hot iRacing shoe.
Yeah, I'm
Dillon, what does your Sunday morning? Dillon, what does your Sunday morning look like if you're holding up the $10,000 check on Saturday night?
Oh, I'll probably pinch myself and try to wake up. They'll probably think I'm still dreaming a bit, but yeah, that'd be awesome. I'll probably be a little late waking up the next morning. Probably have a pretty good party that night, but yeah, I don't really know what I'd do.
Well, we'll let you get back to your Wednesday night. Clint, do you have anything else for Dillon? I don't want to keep him too long.
No, I've talked to him way too much in Victory Lane already this year.
That's a lot of conversations. Yeah, exactly. 28 conversations in the last 4 seasons.
Yeah. No,
all right, man.
Dillon's a great kid, great ambassador, Dillon, and we appreciate everything you do for Rush Weekend, sprint car racing, and the 360 world.
Have yourself a great night, Dillon. Always good to chat. And I mean it, Clinton. Dillon Westbrook was a very awkward interview to listen to, let alone I never really interviewed him. You've done it many, many times. But it really was, he didn't know, he was thinking too hard about what he's supposed to say and not just having conversations. And he's gotten to the point now where he can just chill out and chat with us. And that's exactly what people want. They don't necessarily want to hear a driver say all the right things. Just say what's on your mind.
100%. All right, we're flying along here. We'll jump into our next topic, which is Action Sprint Tour East. We touched on a little bit. So basically the gist there is Quebec is starting a crate division at one of the speedways, and they will be running the same crate rules we've got here in Ontario, using our seals and our tech procedures. So that's super exciting. I'm going to add to a whole new dynamic for the crates. The other thing it's going to do, Adam, is we have our Midsummer Nationals and our next year, the first ever Canadian crate sprint car nationals. Right now, we had 46 cars at the Midsummer Nationals. I think we could easily be at 50 to 55 cars at the first ever crate sprint car nationals, which is going to be on the Friday of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals weekend next year.
Well, think about this, Clinton. I want you to name me 6 prolific Quebec sprint car racers in history, as far back as you can remember.
Oh, man, you going to test me right now? Like Poirier?
Not a test. Yep. Bergeron.
Alex Bergeron.
There was Michael Perrant. There was
Michael Perrant,
always. So, and what I'm getting at is there's big names out of Quebec. Always has been. There's always been one or two Quebec drivers that would travel around with the 360s, run with the Empire Super Sprints, run here and there. What Glenn Stiers did and what you did with the crate program at Ohsweken, even before we had those, like Glenn Stiers was the big icon, I would say, of sprint car racing in our neck of the woods, and the class grew like crazy. Imagine it in Quebec when you've got people like Steve Poirier, that people can look up to and want to be like. I think they're going to flock to that series. They're going to flock to that rules package.
Yeah, so the track that picked them up and agreed to them is Saint Guillaume. Of course, I hope I'm saying it. My French and English. Saint Guillaume Super Speedway in Saint Guillaume, Quebec, and they're going to pick it up and go with it. It's a 602. You can find them on Facebook at Crate Sprint du Quebec, DU Quebec, Sprint Crate DU Quebec, and look them up. And they've got lots of stuff going on. Their test videos there, lots of pictures. They're sharing our videos. Super cool to have that going on. They approached me midsummer and said, hey, if we can get this together, can we call it the Sprint Tour East and Action Sprint Tour East? And heck yeah. So we've been working closely with them. And so thankful that they decided to work with us and not wedge us into their own set of rules. You know, we can now really build something super awesome for everybody. And, you know, everybody will bring the exact same apple to the apple pie, and we're going to have a great feast. So it's going to be awesome.
And imagine Brighton Apple Fest for this one. There's going to be 60 cars there because everybody will come from both directions, meet at the halfway point.
Next week we'll have a big feature on Apple Fest. But what I was just going to say there, Adam, is just imagine, quickly talk about Apple Fest, which is not this weekend because bless their hearts, they closed down so we can have the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. All the Brighton fans come up here. Imagine that. Common ground, Brighton Speedway, Quebec versus Ontario, big crate showdown. Woo! I like it. But Apple
awesome.
Fest's already got so much going on. So
before I forget, I want to ask you, Jesse Costa, why is he driving the Oakwood Transport 4 this week?
I give. Why is he?
I'm asking you. I saw a post somewhere. I thought it said that Jesse Costa's behind the wheel of the 4. Okay, if anyone knows why that is.
Well, the quick answer is Hannah is moving to a 360 for the weekend. And I think to concentrate on her 360 package. And because she's not in the Action Sprint Tour point standings, which means she won't get to the option to drive both. And I can maybe explain why someone like Josh Hansen is allowed, but someone like Hannah Farrell is not. Well, when we first started the crate sprints at Ohsweken Speedway, we said you're only allowed to race one crate division, one sprint car division per night, preventing guys from Dillon Westbrook from cherry picking on these guys who are supposed to be up and coming, or guys like Glenn Stiers or Mikey Kretschker that back in the day from running both divisions for some of these more affluent race teams. Well, we told drivers at the beginning of the year, if you wanted to run both, you'd have to basically be in the point standings for the Action Sprinter, which Josh Hansen was, because he was effectively a crate driver stepping up to the 360. So to encourage that jump, we allowed them to make the move. The same discussion was had last year with Jacob Dykstra, who was basically a crate driver but wanted to dabble in the SOS. So we told them, well, when the SOS, if you're racing with the SOS on your off nights from Ohsweken, when they come to Ohsweken, we'll let you run both classes. So that's the long answer why Josh Hansen and I think there might be one or two other eligibles, but Hannah's moved to the 360. So I think Jesse is going to take a shot with the bar now. Could that be a super team in the future? You know, Costa gets with Barr, that could be someone tough to beat next year if they stick that out. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it could be big. But just, one of the things you see in passing and think, oh, how did that come about? So I'm happy for both of them. If it's a win-win, I'm happy for both of them.
We do have some other things we'll talk about other than Ohsweken Speedway, but one thing we do want to discuss is Dusty DeBoer's rankings. And I love the math. Whoever thought math and racing could be fun together, but Dusty is making it cool. I love his rankings. And Spencer, if you got it, bring it up. But Dusty has been doing these rankings And all summer long, it's been mini stocks against mini stocks and thunder stocks against thunder stocks based on your average last 3 finishes and based on how many cars you've beaten. So how many cars are in the field adds to your beaten percentage. It's great little bit of math. I don't even want to try to unravel it. But what I like about this, Adam, when I saw this is a breakdown for us weekend speedway beaten percentages. And when you look at the rankings, it's almost bang on for the performances. You know, Bailey beat everybody this year. Dillon Westbrook was the next one. Then Sheridan, McDemand. I just think it's so cool that we can bring math into racing and make it fun. And, what an awesome way to rank the Ush Weekend drivers across the divisions. Anything jumps off that page at you?
I'm looking at, so what order are these drivers in?
The order of their beaten percentage. So Dave Bailey.
No, they're not,
beaten
because McDemand has 89%. He should be second, ahead of Dillon Westbrook. I thought they were in order of beaten percentage too, but now that I look down this list, we're going to have to talk to Dusty.
Okay, well, one thing I can say is when I look at the order on the screens, they're lined up, it looks accurate to where they should be in the Ush Weekend pecking order, don't you think?
Oh, I'm looking deep down the list. Yeah, you can't argue with the math. You might argue, should Dillon Westbrook be ahead of McDemand or vice versa? But so McDemand has 12 top fives.
We'll have to get Dusty to explain it, but it's probably the heat average times the beaten percentage divided by the last 3 finishes or something like that. But whatever math he's using, it struck a chord with me, and I'm like, that's so cool. Each week is scored, then there's waiting on the week. So I still don't know what that means, mathematician Dusty.
So we did
next week's Dusty to make it all make sense of it all.
We'll get Dustin on the show one of these weeks, and I want to talk to him about it because we did something similar years ago when I borrowed it from Rob Howden. Clinton, I think you know Rob. He's announcing Indy cars now. He's got a long background in karting. Karting was similar. He wanted some sort of a ranking system that could bring people together from different states and provinces. And it had a factor. It had a calculator to where some races had a 9 out of 10 competition rating, where other races might have a 6 out of 10, and that would be a calculation that they would use. So if you win every race but one in a year of a class that only has 5 cars, or if Dave Bailey races 14 times and wins 12 of them in a class of 30 cars, his would probably be weighted higher. So, but it's awesome.
Okay, so Dusty sent a message here. He said, last week is worth 28%, 2 weeks ago is worth 20%, and 3 weeks ago is worth 14%. Heats and feature also factor in. So it's a what have you done for me lately?
I was just going to say that. That's yeah. But it's pretty awesome, and I do want to. We have to get Dustin on. We have to give it the credit it deserves because it's really, really cool.
Some of the other mathematicians we have in the world are Tommy Gugin. He's done a ton of stuff for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, and we'll be seeing some of Tommy's by the numbers and stats this weekend. I'm excited to get those up to the TV crowd too, because I've never been a stats guy, but the way these guys are presenting them, it's super cool to look at, and we appreciate what you do.
Two topics from now, Clinton. Remember you said that I've never been a stats guy. Because it's going to come back in this evening's stories.
All right, let's talk about Rivalz Pools going on. Your last week to make the Rivalz Pools. You can go to racerivals.com and sign up with your Victory Games account. Current active pools going on are the Ush Weekend Speedway 4 pools. Your last chance to play Ush Weekend pools this season. And then we'll get into the Rivalz League, which is also going to have pools going on. The APC September 14th race. The prize pool is up on that one, so get into those. Current active promotions going on Victory Games right now. You can get 10 times your deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits, 5 times on the first deposit, 2 times on the second, 3 times on the third, and a free additional $5 to anyone who uses email money transfer, which is your fastest, most secure way to get your picks in. Sign up and make your deposits. It's more than just pools. Try the slots, blackjack, video poker, and make sure you use your bonus sign-up cash. And congratulations to all last week's Rivalz winners. So make sure you get in and check those out. All right.
And let's chat quickly.
Go ahead.
Before you go there, because we mentioned the APC race this weekend at Delaware Speedway as part of the pools, we do need to talk about that. Matt Pritico looking for, I believe, his first, I'm almost positive it would be his first APC Series championship. Trayton Lapsevich has a chance to take down the title. It would be his first championship for sure. And what would be interesting if Trayton Lapsevich can win the title is he's never won a race. So consistency and solid finishes are the modus operandi. Did I say that right? MO for Trayton Lapsevich. And I hope they have an awesome showdown. I hope they have an awesome show at Delaware. I'm a little disappointed that it's up against Ohsweken Speedway because that's a lot of race fans towards the western part of the province going to be splitting between two venues. But I hope they have an awesome weekend down there, Clinton, because I know we're going to have a ton of people at Ohsweken as well. So if you're heading to Delaware for the APC show, have an awesome time. I hope it's going to be a great race, and I hope they settle that championship with good, hard, clean racing.
Yeah, we got a lot of friends in the APC world in high places, so maybe we could twist that around and make it happen too. Get us from stepping on each other's toes. Humberstone Wreck, they had a bad wreck this past week, and let's take a look at it if you can pull it up. Wild wreck in the late model race. Looked like Pitsy on the outside had something broken on the car and caught a whole bunch of them.
Wow. Spencer, can you back that up once you're done? Look at the infield where those people are standing. Oh, that's an ATV. There's only one person standing there.
No, there's somebody running out of there.
Well, there's, just the one photographer with the orange vest. I thought there was more because I saw the ATV. I thought it was a couple of people standing there in red coats, but it's an ATV because this cargo, it's right up in there. Holy moly.
I saw Pitsy apologize that he didn't realize that they were trying to tell him something was broken. And watch it from the start. He's the black car right on the outside up against turn 4. And I'll get Spencer to stop it.
Didn't he just win the championship?
Yeah, stop it there, Spencer, if you can. So Pitsy's on the outside there, that black car, and something's broken on the nose. He's already got them loose, and he comes across. But watch how bad his car gets slammed in the middle there. Let it go. This last hit.
Ooh. Oh, that was the superstar from our race.
Oh, Lagenet.
No.
Not Lagenet. I can't remember his
Josh, name. Tyler or Josh? That's awful. I can't remember. Got a big round of applause, though. My memory sucks. I'm going to talk about that again, too. Oh, that's a hard hit.
Yeah. That was Brian Hallowell running out of the way, Stephen Petty says.
There is no shame in that.
Well, you know what? At Ohsweken, where Sean and I stand down on the inside of 3 and 4 there, one of the mini stocks, 2 of them rolled in at the end there. And we got some blocks put in this week just for that, so Sean and I can have a little bit of protection down there. And as Kenny Winfield slid up over the guardrails, Francis, crazy. And good to see everybody's all right and walked out of that one.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
Everybody's been wondering all night, Adam, what the hell this tater salad topic is. I know because I read it on the message board, and you asked if you should maybe save it for the show, and they said, "Come on, man, you can't say it and not say it." So say it.
So the conversation was, what makes a good announcer? What do you like? Who's the best announcer? What has the best announcing? And over the years, you have enough conversations and the thought processes we go through and a lot of long car drives getting to and from the races. And it dawned on me that Clinton announcers are potato salad. See, you go to a family picnic or a family reunion, and anything that's everyone's got to bring some sort of a dish. There's going to be 10 different potato salads there. Some of them are just plain. They're like potatoes and white stuff. Who knows what's in it? Other stuff, there's stuff you've never tasted before. It's just fantastic. The moral of the story, though, Clint, nobody goes to the family reunion because they love the potato salad, but they'll always remember the potato salad that they like. They might try to take the recipe or steal some of the ingredients of the potato salad other people have that they really want. That's what announcers are. Nobody goes to the races to listen to the announcers, but we can play a big part in setting people's mood, helping them enjoy the races a little bit more. And everyone has a favorite. Everyone has some that they don't care if they ever hear again. And everyone has some that they'd like to go to more events that they do because it helps them enjoy it. So it's not the show, but it's a part of the show. That is my potato salad analogy of where announcers come from.
I like it. Now, what does it have to do with stats? Because you said in 2 topics from now, I needed to remember that I said I didn't like stats.
There again, there are people who make potato salad by measuring out ingredients and putting them in a cup and throwing them in the bowl. Then there's people who boil up potatoes, chop the hell out of it, throw some chives in there, and it's still fantastic. I don't care for stats. And you and I had this talk last week. Stats are important. There's certain things you need to know. But in my opinion, we're storytellers. That's what I consider myself. We're the Morgan Freeman of Shawshank Redemption. So we're a part in here, but we're going to bridge some of the gaps, and we're going to tell you why this person matters in this situation and what goes on. And to me, it's more than who finished second last week or who passed the most cars in the heats. It's about knowing who's been through something. That Kyle Wirt had problems getting to the track and almost didn't get to the track. So there's all sorts of drama there, and he just barely made it. And now he can fight for the championship that he's tied going into the last race with. So statistics are great as a resource. I don't want to say a crutch, but kind of like a crutch. If you run out a story, you can refer to stats and start to build things up that way. But I prefer the story side of things and the emotion side of things to the stat side.
No, I'm 100% with you. Like, I think I've seen damn near every race at Osh Weekend Speedway. I mean, I've been there. We raced on day one. There may be a few nights that I wasn't there, but for the most part, I've seen almost every race. And I think I couldn't tell you the difference between a 14 3-lap and a 15 1-lap. I just couldn't. I mean, lap times don't mean shit to me. They never have. I mean, except when you line them up in time trials and it tells you who's going to start where. But, you know, there's some diehard fans who are right up to that. For me, I think I'd rather hear a good story. Tell me what the guy went through to get to the races. Tell me what his struggle's been this week. I mean, those are the juiciest ones for us to dig into, and those are the best stories for us to tell. And I think our relationship in the pits with a lot of these drivers gets us a lot of, hey, did you hear this? I think Facebook has been amazing for our style of announcing, where we're telling stories. You read so many things, you pick up so many inside tidbits, and the race drivers and teams are amazing at you know, telling what's going on in their world. You know, if
people know
if their parts breaking down, they're telling you what's wrong. You know what they're looking for. You know, it's awesome.
Put up Spencer. Put up Hunter Hurtendy's last comment. I thought that was really, really cute. But the nice thing is the race teams know that they can send us information and we will use it. We'll read it. Chris Dickey sent some fantastic stories last week. We have different people saying, hey, this is what happened to this car. This is what happened to that driver. And so the comment I was talking about that Hunter mentioned was, I wish I can be a tater salad soon. That's cool.
Well, the one like the Terry Whittle says, last weekend serves up great tater salad, which is a compliment to us. So I like that. Thank you, Terry. We appreciate that. So that's your rant. Let's move on to my rant. Victory lane conduct. So we got talking, Adam, and let's not throw anybody under the bus personally, but over the years, there's been many drivers who, as a victory lane announcer, and I'm probably going to get so much heat for this. It drives me crazy when a racer wins a race and sits in the car for like 3 or 4 minutes and takes his time getting out. Like the whole crowd just watched you win this race. We're all on the seat of our pants. We can't wait to hear you get out. We can't wait to see you jump out of that car and be excited. And you sit there for 2-3 minutes. It's agonizing. Am I out of line? Am I being too impatient, Adam?
No, because in the other side of things, so in the NASCAR world, we have drivers get to victory lane and all they want to do is get out of the car. But officials are holding them in until TV's ready, until all the signage is ready. So it's kind of the opposite. get the hell out of the car and join the fans. Like you got to be in the moment. You got to be right there. I don't understand the delay. I get it if there's safety equipment to be undone, but for goodness sake, get out of the car.
Well, I used to talk with my brother Mikey before he was in a winning capability, and I said, listen, man, let's make a deal. When you win the race, you're going to have those belts off. You're going to surf that car into victory lane and get out so we can get on with the celebration. And it just deflates the whole thing. And when we're on live TV a couple times, it really makes it tough when you're sitting there on live TV and the driver's not getting out. You've already thrown it down to us, and we're like, you got the crowd still on the edge of their seat, and it's just all deflating. And then the crew runs in. So my request is of the crews, when we're live, you can hug your driver all night long later. Get them out in front of the car. Let's celebrate with the fans. Let's show off your celebration. You know, you got all these people wanting to see, and you guys are hiding in the back. It's brutal.
I'm gonna make you really angry here, Clinton. I would rather see a winner stop at the start-finish line right against the wall, get out of their car, stand on the roof so they can be closer to the crowd than see someone go into victory lane and sit there for 2 minutes. Like, I would rather see you have to change your entire program to go out and chase the winner to make it closer to the fans or to do something unique that shows appreciation for the fans that are in the grandstands.
Great. Now I'm going to have Chase drives around my Boba buggy all weekend
I
trying to get
hate
lanes underway.
Victory Lane in the last couple of years has become such a gong show. All people get to see are the backs of photographers and people that gather on the front stretch. It drives me mental.
Well, let's work on getting them out of there. We can make some shoes. It's one thing Brighton has. Brighton's got a new procedure that says unless you have a special sponsor pass or a pit bracelet, you can't go into victory lane. So they just don't let anybody from the grandstand side come out into being the celebration. I know we take a lot of heat from that, but they've been living with it down there. It's just the way it's become.
There's got to be a way. Actually, St. Eustache does a really cool thing to go back to theirs. When you win the race at St. Eustache, you drive all the way off the end of the racetrack, back around the grandstand side of the fence. So the winning car drives along the front of the grandstands because there's a stage against the fence, and then the podium is there. So second and third place drivers come through the fence on the grandstand side, and then the winning car comes right around to the grandstand side, and the celebration is right there among the people, which happens to be right in front of the bar.
Awesome. We're not quite equipped for that
wild.
with sprint cars, but we can do some interesting things. Anyways, that's my rant. Sprint car teams, race teams in general, when if your driver wins this weekend, get over there, rip them out of the car, bring them around in front, have your big celebration where we all can see it. That's my request as we get on with it. Let's talk about four-cylinder truck merge, Adam. And you probably don't know anything about this, but I have fielded a few emails about it through the ODCC in the past couple weeks. Humberstone and Merrittville have started to run, albeit temporarily. There was a write-up in the paper about it this week, about them running them together. So they've started to run the four-cylinder trucks and the mini stocks together because, that's what they're going to take to get a full field together on some nights. So I know some of the drivers don't like it. A lot of questions have been asked, what's the Ontario Dirt Competition Committee's position on it? I'm not sure. My thoughts are, for the time being, I don't think you'll see the ODCC bring trucks into the mini stock rules because we're starting to build something good there. But again, I'm just one of the ones who get to vote. I don't get to say in that, but if I had to guess. But with that being said, the ODCC has always said to the tracks, like, for example, Henry at Buxton, he said, I might need to let the 9-inch Ford rear ends come in with some of the American guys to track them over. I know Bittner at Humberstone has brought over some of the American guys to race on occasional nights with the Ransfield cars, which are way out of spec. Whatever they got to do to make their money and keep their business alive, we would never stop them. But I don't think out on the tour, like the Duel on the Dirt Tour and stuff like that, that you'll see trucks be allowed to race in those competition events in the near future. Because I know at Ohsweken Speedway, we certainly don't need to run the trucks, but we'll see what happens in Niagara going forward. So I know Kyle Tomaski brought that up for us to talk about, so I did want to make sure we touched upon it.
Good job. And you're right, I had no idea.
Well, I know, and I even had Spencer put it in the rundown at the last minute. So
I wouldn't
So,
have researched
we got-
it even if you put it in this morning. Just so you
we
know,
got a-
just so we're all on the same page.
We got a few minutes to go. Tyler Lazone was the late model driver you're talking about, and Dan Lewis says he wasn't even down there, Adam. So we were way off base, but it was a good run by Lazone at the Summer Nationals. So let's talk a bit about Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, Adam. Lots of stuff going on as we got 8 minutes to go here in the show. Of course, we'll be live on Saturday, 7 p.m. All North Racing, powered by Pinty's on MAV TV Canada. The restream, if you're not catching that, will come out on the 21st, the following Saturday. So, if you can't catch it,
breaking
check
news.
it out then.
Breaking news before we get to that final topic. Matt Shepard is allowed to race at Middletown. Apparently there was some sort of conversation. Yeah. Apparently there was a conversation with Matt Shepard and Chris Larson, and that was an announcement as per Matt Shepard's Facebook page. So I want to see it from Orange County Fair Speedway as well. But I think that's good news.
Interesting. And if you missed it, that was a big topic of our conversation here a few weeks back when we discussed Matt Williamson's $100,000 win at the Century race, and interesting stuff going on. So, Adam, back to the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Right now, over 65 teams have registered. I suspect it'll be at 70 by the time we get to Saturday morning for pre-tech inspection. Tech inspection opens at 9:30. But the big thing is weather this weekend. So, weather looks questionable for tomorrow's practice. Friday, we're still hoping for the best. We have all the campers there. All the teams will be there. From the management side, I can say it's a fairly low over. Look at Spencer. He's a freaking weatherman, too. Fairly low overhead. So there we are. Thursday, cloudy with a chance of showers, but cloudy with showers. Friday, a chance of showers. So it looks pretty good for Friday now, Adam, and Saturday looks banging. So we are looking for two amazing nights at the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Campers have already moved in. I was up there this morning, first thing this morning, and they're already campers in both fields. It's amazing how good it's coming along already. Be a lot like the Summer Nationals. We'll have entertainment both nights after the races in the pit area. All kinds of VIPs and executives coming around. So we'll ask everybody to be on their best behavior, because you never know what kind of bigwig racing exec could be watching your performance and how you're acting, Adam. And there's more hanging around every week. And I'll tell you, if you guys take a look in Glenn's backyard on Saturday, some of the biggest heavyweights in the racing business in Canada will be over there for a pre-race party. So make sure you wave over the fence and say hi. We're excited to have everybody out this weekend. It's going to be an amazing few days. Your thoughts on the Nationals, Adam? I know the Friday night portion is probably the best dollar for dollar, bang for your buck race you're ever going to get. Triple 15s, the best in the business, throwing slide jobs like you have never seen before. Friday night is always the wildest show of the bunch.
I see Matt Farnham just thanked Brady Electric for coming on board, his efforts for this weekend. Remember that name, Matt Farnham. Anyone who's followed all year long at Ush Weekend will be very familiar with them, but some people might be surprised this Saturday, Clinton, when they're used to seeing the regular names at the front. When they say, who is this Matt Farnham guy? He is going to turn some heads.
He would be a good dark horse pick for sure.
If Matt Farnham wins the Sprint Car Nationals, is that a home track driver taking the win, or is that an outsider?
He's a home track driver. He started his sprint car career in the crate sprints with us, and our guys. Then his first, 360. I think he made it out at Erie's with the Patriots, but came right back, raced with us, qualified on the pole a couple weeks ago at Ush Weekend. We're taking him.
We can claim him.
I just did. So
there you go. I think it's going to be a phenomenal weekend. It's action packed. And I know for a fact that the live stream that we do and some of the stuff that we've done with MAV TV Canada, I've heard a lot of people who do not come to Ush Weekend Speedway, some who have never been to Ush Weekend Speedway, are coming this weekend. They want to check out the show. So people from different racing circles saying, we've seen what the product is on TV or online. We want to see it in person. I think they're going to be, if you watch the show as a stream, and then you come out and see it in person, two things I'm going to tell you. One, bring goggles. And two, get ready to have your mind blown.
And bring your phone too, because you can still, Saturday we won't be seeing it, but if you're there Friday, you can watch some of the replays and stuff on your phone and on regular nights. It's an awesome experience. I think, Adam, simply the way the grandstands are placed in the pits or the front straightaway, and those cars whiz by at 175 kilometers an hour, 135, 140 miles an hour. It stands your hair up, man. And if you're any kind of gearhead, you're gonna love what you see there. And just the sheer talent, drivers from all over. It's the one race of the year where the track almost guaranteed gets pool table smooth, super slick, super wide. I mean, you're gonna see some of the wildest action and the best of the best there this weekend. Let's also talk about final go around mini stocks and thunder stocks on Friday, their final race. Points and perfect attempts are over, so we don't really know what kind of driver roster we're going to get. It'll still be a full show. I'm not worried about that, but I think that's usually where someone will jump up, put a crew chief in the car. There could be some funky new deals going on there. And then the triple 15s plus 6 heat races. It's going to be wild for the 360s. Saturday, 360s again, 60 plus cars going for 10,000 US, 1,000 US if you qualify just for the one of the 30 qualifying positions. And then we have a $1,000 to win crate deal with Nitro 54 and Dan Anico getting behind that to kick up that. It's the Nitro 54 challenge for the crates. I want to thank Dan, Jay Hill, Bradshaw Brothers, and Kurt and Trish for everything they do at Aero Express, for all our amazing sponsors at Ush Weekend for putting together this banging weekend.
So Hunter wants us to make some picks for this weekend, Clint. Picks to win and dark horse.
Well, does he want me to pick picks that I want to win or picks who I think are going to win?
Mine are the same.
See, mine are not, because the guys who I'd like to see win are probably not the guys who I truly believe are going to win.
I think
I won't tell you who I want to win because that would be bias, but I'll tell you who I think are going to be very difficult to beat this weekend. First off, obviously Sam Haferteep. He's got his game together. Hills know that place. Turford's got it. Most recent winner last Friday. He's got it together, but needs the luck. Second, Parker Price Miller. Multi-time winner, coming out of the same car that Christopher Bell rocked with in the summer. We know the thing flies. We know it can run anywhere on the track, and we know Parker Price Miller can put it anywhere on the track. My third choice, Steve Poirier. Okay, Steve's the only Canadian to ever win this race. He's led the lap, more laps than anybody else in the history of the event. His health is on the decline a little bit. This could be Steve's final nationals, and I'm just speaking out of turn, but I know there's been rumored that this could be the final time we see Steve at Ush Weekend Speedway. So I think if Steve wins it, he says goodbye to Ush Weekend Speedway. So if you're a Fireball fan, you make sure you're there this weekend. But those are my choices who I think can get it done this weekend. Would be Haferteep, Parker Price Miller, and Poirier.
And I'm gonna go with the homer. I'm gonna go with Dillon Westbrook. And since you picked 3, I think Dillon, Mac, and Scott Kruder are going to be up on the wheel, and I think all 3 of them are going to finish in the top 5, and I think one of them could win it. And if you want a dark horse, I think Matt Farnham could be it. If they hit on something, if he hits on a setup that'll go the full distance, definitely. I think he's going to win his heat. I don't care what heat he's in. I think he's going to win it. Like watching him race a couple of weeks ago blew me away a little bit.
Wow, that's high praise.
And while we're on the topic of, we're not supposed to have favorites, both Greg Calden and myself were kind of doing a little fist bump last weekend when Tristan De Silva took the checkered flag. And it was weird. There was crazy stuff going on the last lap. He zigged when he was in the right place at the right time to capitalize. But there's a kid who has paid his dues. He's a sweetheart of a kid. They're a good racing family. And I would have been happy. There's a lot of guys that could win, guys and girls. You see them get a win and you'd be happy for. But that one just felt really good to me.
Good call. One last thing I want to mention before we wrap up the show. Thanks everybody for watching with us. Still lots of tickets available for Ush Weekend Speedway. Still good camping spots available if you're in this is not the final event at Osh Weekend Speedway. We have one event on the 21st the following week, which is the flat track bikes. If you've never seen these flat track bikes, Flat Track Canada bikes, go at it. We got a quick glimpse of them on the Monday of the Northern Summer Nationals, but they'll be there on the 21st. Admission is $15 for adults, $10 for seniors, $5 for kids. Come on out and check it out. We're also going to have our micro sprints and our flat track carts going on there. It's going to be awesome. So that's September 21st. We're working out the streaming details. We'll get back at you with some information there. We're going to stream tomorrow, Adam, from practice. Still trying to figure out. It'll be either be that or a mixture of that plus last year's Canadian Sprint Car Nationals airing. We'll figure out what we're going to do here. We'll get something on tomorrow depending on the weather. If we rain out tomorrow, we will be showing last year's Canadian Sprint Car Nationals as a precursor. That'll be going on tomorrow night for everybody hanging out.
Next week, we're going to introduce at least one more team from our Rivalz Elite season, and we're also going to unveil the tracks and the qualifying procedures for the first week of competition, which will be October 21st, 22nd.
All right. We will talk to you guys soon. And, of course, a little proud father moment. Trevor DeBoer says the best potato salad is out on the flat track night. So with up there with his kids, I'm assuming. We'll see what happens. Anyways,
awesome.
Thanks a lot, guys. No kids running tomorrow. Micro sprints are over, but they are part of that afternoon show on September 21st. We're looking at, if I look at the schedule here, features for the micros and carts. So heats will get underway around 1:30, so maybe a whole afternoon of racing there on the 21st. We'll probably live stream that to give the kids another shot. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you this weekend in the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Make sure you come out and check us out. If you can't be with us, check out the live stream Thursday and Friday, and then we will also be live on All North Racing, powered by Pinty's, on Mad TV Canada, starting 7 p.m. Eastern for the full duration of the show Saturday night. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. We'll see you soon. Adam, I'll talk to you 3,000 times tomorrow.